Hello, my dear students and the rest of the learners. Welcome to part 3 of OFET 1 part series of tutorials in Fundamentals of Object-Oriented Programming in Java. In this tutorial, we are going to look at how to set up and use Eclipse IDE. This is a series that follows part 1, in which we learned how to install Java. Then part 2, how to configure Java. And once you've done that, you proceed and install an IDE. And therefore, before you learn this part 3 of the series, and before you perform these tasks, it is important and advisable to ensure that you have already downloaded and installed Java in your computer. You can learn on how to download and install Java and configure Java by going through part 1 and part 2 of the series of presentations in this series as posted in MediSwap ICT YouTube channel. My name is Memedi M, or you can simply call me MediSwap. So in this tutorial, we are going to look at Introduction to Eclipse IDE, how to download, install, and set up Eclipse IDE, and how to launch Eclipse IDE. What is Eclipse IDE? Eclipse IDE is a free and open source integrated development environment program that was founded by the IBM's Visual Age in the year 2001, but is now managed by Eclipse Foundation. It is therefore an integrated development program for developing various computer applications using programming languages such as Java, C or C++, Python, Perl, Ruby, and many more. It has become a popular IDE in the market today due to its extensive plugin ecosystem that makes it lovable by developers as it supports customizable plugins and functions for developing any application. Eclipse IDE can run on the most popular operating systems such as Windows, Macintosh, and Linux. Eclipse is one of the best coding tools and IDE for Java developers. Being free and open source using a modern user interface and its usage for multiple operating systems makes it popular among developers. Before you install Eclipse IDE, you have to install the latest Java version in your computer, just as I have said. This IDE consists of the main workspace, which is used as base, and a plugin system where one can add custom features and functions per the user's needs. Some of the most important tools for any Java developer are Window Builder Core, the Code Recommenders Developer Tools, the Eclipse GIT Team Provider, the Maven integrated for Eclipse, Eclipse Java Development Tools, Mylin Task List, and the Eclipse XML editors and tools. Some features of the Eclipse IDE include everything is a plugin. There is a workspace where you can develop any project as per the customer's or user's needs. Any functionality can be extended using the number of plugins the user desires. It supports powerful knowledge tools, including forwarding and hyperlink navigation, grading, macro definition browser, and code editing with syntax highlight. It comes with a visual code debugging tool, which can easily debug any loopholes in the project. Drag and drop facility for all user interface designs. Assist project development along with appropriate supervision for using different tool chains and source navigation. Java Eclipse IDE also comes with a Java doc facility, which can be used for any kind of documentation by the users. Therefore, the Eclipse IDE consists of the following components. 1. The Eclipse Java Development Tools, JDT. The Eclipse C++ Development Tools, CDT, and Eclipse PHP Development Tools, PDT. So, how to download, install, and set up Eclipse IDE? The three main steps for Eclipse IDE installation and configuration are: number one, you install Java Development Kit, JDK, which we have already done, or we already did in part 1 and part 2 of this series. Number two, you download Eclipse. And number three, you unzip and run Eclipse exe. To download Eclipse IDE, search for Eclipse IDE for Java developers from the browser and tap on the download link for version that is compatible with your operating system. For example, x86 64-bit, Windows 11 operating system, or any other for your operating system, such as for Linux, Macintosh operating systems, and others. Then browse the location, the storage location for your application file once download is complete, and type its name. Or in other words, during the download process, once you click on download, you'll be taken to, or a window for storage location will open, from where you can type the name and the file name for your download and click on save. Once the download completes, open its folder and double-click on the app's icon. Respond positively to any prompts that may be displayed. So you can do, or you can download your Eclipse IDE for Java developers as follows. You go to your browser in your computer, for example, Google Chrome, or any other that may be installed in your computer, as long as you are connected to the internet. And then once you are in your browser, you can type Eclipse IDE for Java developers, and then go to the website for Eclipse. So in this case, I will click on this link to Eclipse browser or Eclipse homepage. Once on the Eclipse homepage, you can choose the Eclipse IDE that you want to download. You can see there are several. So the best that we are going to click, like in this case, we are being told that the release was published on that date and we have a new version. So let's click on new version that is available. Remember, you have to choose the IDE that is appropriate for your computer. You can see we have Windows x86 64-bit, we have Mac operating system, we have Linux. So in our case, we are going to click, let's choose the latest, Windows x86 64, this one. Or we can click from here, Windows x86 64. And then we can choose this option for download. Once you click, you can see you have been taken, or we have been taken to the window where we can save our folder or our download, our app. So I'm going to choose the default one myself. I will not change the location. Otherwise, you can browse and store your download anywhere else. So in this case, I will take the name and the file name and click on save. Once you have clicked on save, you can always confirm the progress of your download by clicking at this point. You can see that our downloading is in progress. If the download does not commence, you can always choose another option. For example, you can see you are being told that if the download does not start in a few seconds, please click here to start the download. So you can always click here, or you can always choose another mirror for your download in case your download does not commence. Once the download process begins, you have to wait for the download to be complete. Like in our case, you can see that the size of our file is 163 MBs. And therefore, you have to wait for the file or for the app to be downloaded up to the end. Remember, my dear students and the rest of the learners, that for you to download the IDE, or before you download the IDE, you must ensure that you first of all installed Java in your computer. And for that reason, as I have said, the process of downloading an IDE, such as Eclipse, NetBeans, amongst others, is that first of all, you need to download and configure Java application or Java program in your computer. Once the Java program has been installed in your computer and has been configured, that's when you proceed and download an IDE of your choice. Why is it important for you to ensure that you have first of all downloaded and configured Java? It is because IDE, such as Eclipse, plays the role of enabling you to be able to manipulate and manage the files that you create in Java. And for that reason, because Eclipse will be making use of Java, it is always advisable that you first of all download Java so that as you install the IDE or the Eclipse IDE, it will be able to link or access the necessary files for Java that it needs to be able to manipulate the Java files. Otherwise, if you install or download and install the Eclipse IDE, or for example, NetBeans IDE, before you have installed Java in your computer, it may be a little bit challenging because as Eclipse gets configured, it will not be able to access the various files that it requires. And for that reason, my dear students and the rest of the learners, it is always advisable that the process of installing IDE is systematic. First, just as I have said in part 1 and part 2 of the series, first download Java. Once you've downloaded Java application, you install that Java application. After you have installed, just as I said in part 1 of this series, then you proceed and configure the Java environmental variables. And that is what we learned in part 2 of this series, how to configure the Java environment variables and how to launch Java. Once you have done that, once you have installed Java, you have configured the Java environment variables, and the computer or your device is now configured to run the Java files. You then proceed and download the respective IDE. The choice of your IDE depends, number one, with the IDE that you're familiar with using, or secondly, it may also be determined by the examining body if you are learning or using Java as your unit of learning. And therefore, once your download is complete for Eclipse, as you can see, you can then proceed and open the folder in which your application has been downloaded. There we go. You can see that our application has been downloaded and saved in this folder. So what you need to do now is to launch or to run your Eclipse. So you can click on it and click open or click on run as administrator. So let's click on open. Once you click on open, you have to wait. You have to wait for the app to commence or for the installation to commence. And you can always check at the bottom to see the progress. So we have launched or we have begun the process of installing our Eclipse. Remember, our interest is on the Eclipse IDE for Java developers. So in this case, we shall not bother with these others or with these other options, but we're going to click on Eclipse IDE for Java developers. And then you click on install. Remember, you can always choose on whether you want, once the installation is complete, you want to create a start menu entry or you want to create a desktop shortcut. So just tick the options as you need. And of course, once the installation begins, you have to wait for installation to complete. There we go. So once the installation process is complete, the next step is to launch your IDE. So how do you launch your IDE? How do you launch your IDE? So to launch Eclipse IDE, you proceed as follows. You open it by searching for Eclipse IDE for Java developers from the Start menu, or open it from its shortcut from the desktop. So before we proceed further, you need to note that you have to select a directory to serve as your workspace and click on Select Folder. Then you check the checkbox for use this as a default and do not ask again, and then you click on Launch button. Once you have launched the IDE, you can close the welcome screen by clicking on the Hide button for it, or you just click on the arrow on the right to get the actual IDE. So this is how you proceed to launch your Eclipse. So you click on Launch. Once you click on Launch, just as I've said, you wait for the launching process to commence. And the first thing you need to do is to select your workspace. So it has already suggested for us a name. So we can use that as default. And we can click Don't Ask Again. And then you click on Launch. And of course, you wait. So you wait for the Eclipse IDE to commence. And as you can see from this window, it is indicating starting IDE. So once your IDE has been loaded successfully, you can see we are there already. If this kind of message is displayed, like Microsoft Windows Defender is active or another antivirus message pops up, you can always click on Exclude Eclipse IDE from being scanned to improve performance, that is to increase the speed, and click on Proceed. If a message appears telling you that this app is going to make changes to your device, you can click on yes, because you are sure of the application. And there we are. There we are. So our IDE is already ready. So once your IDE is ready, it is important to be able to identify the components of the IDE environment. So our Eclipse IDE environment will look as follows. It has various parts. It has the menu bar, which displays full drop-down menu plus quick access to common functions. Then we have what we call the perspective switcher, where we use, or the part we use, to switch between the various perspectives. And then we have the uncategorized part, which is task list pane, that contains a list of tasks to complete. We have the package editor pane. This is where our projects or files are listed, as we're going to see. Then we have the miscellaneous page at the bottom of the window, which displays various components that contains a console and a list of the compiler problems. We also have the editor pane, where we edit our source code, or we type our source code. And we also have what we call the outline pane, which contains a hierarchical view of our source file. So what are the features of Java? Java has many features that make it a popular choice for software development. These features include object-oriented programming. That is Java's OOP concepts, such as abstraction, encapsulation, inheritance, and polymorphism. These concepts allow developers to create and reuse methods and variables without compromising security. Number two is platform independence. Java code can run on any platform because it uses bytecode, which is similar to machine code. The Java virtual machine can interpret bytecode on any platform, and Java programs are compiled on one machine or operating system and can be executed on any other machine or operating system without modifications. It is also called an architecture-neutral language. Java also allows multi-threading. The Java's built-in feature, like the java.lang .thread class and java.util.concurrent package, allow multiple threads to execute within a program. Java supports multi-threading programming. A thread is an independent process to execute a set of statements. The term multi-threaded refers to creating multiple threads to handle multiple tasks simultaneously. Number four is security. Java provides a secure way to create and access web applications. Number five is automatic memory management. Java's garbage collection feature automatically manages memory. Number six is it is simple and easy to learn. Java syntax is simple and it encourages error-free programming with runtime checks, as we are going to see. Number seven is high performance. Java uses bytecode and the just-in-time JIT compiler, which contribute to faster execution. Number eight is scoped values. It allows a method to share immutable data with its colleagues or with its colleagues within a thread and without threads. Number nine is key derivation function, or KDF API. It allows security providers to implement KDF algorithms in Java code or native code. Number 10, it is compiled and interpreted. Java offers both compilation and interpretation of programs. It combines the power of compiled languages and the flexibility of interpreted languages. When a Java program is created, the Java compiler, Java, compiles the Java source code into bytecode. Number 11 is the Java Virtual Machine, JVM. This is an interpreter that converts bytecode to machine code, which is portable and can be executed on any operating system. Number 11 is dynamic. Java is dynamic. It can adapt to its evolving environment. It allows programmers to link new class libraries, objects, and methods dynamically. Java programs can have a large amount of runtime information that one can use to solve accesses to objects. But whereof it's robust, Java is a robust language that can handle runtime errors by checking the code during the compilation at runtime. The JVM will not be passed directly to the underlying system if it identifies a runtime error. Instead, it will immediately terminate the program and stop it from causing any harm to the system. Java has a strong memory management system. It also supports the concepts of garbage collection and exception handling. It is also secure. Number 30, Java is a secure language that ensures that programs cannot gain access to memory locations without authorization. It has accesses modifiers. Check memory access. Java also ensures that no viruses enter an applet. Java's bytecode verifier checks the code blocks for any illegal code that violates the access right. It also does not allow programmers to create pointers explicitly. And with that, my dear students and the rest of the learners, we have come to the end of part 3 of the series in which we have been able to learn on how to launch Eclipse IDE. As you can see, our Eclipse IDE having been displayed on our screen. So we are going to proceed from here and learn on how we can be able to make use of the IDE to code our programs. Always remember that once you are done with your IDE, you can click on File and click on Exit. We have not created any program so far. We are going to learn how to do that from part 4 of the series. So you can proceed to part 4 of part 1 of the series, in which we are going to commence learning on how to create a new project in Java. Congratulations for learning part 3 of part 1 on setting up and using Eclipse IDE in fundamentals of object-oriented programming using Java. You can access the rest of the parts in the series, as well as other computer or ICT videos, by clicking or tapping on MLSWAP ICT YouTube channel below this video. To subscribe to this channel, tap on subscribe button below this video in YouTube if it's not currently reading as subscribed. If you have any questions, messages, or any other information or any other correspondence, kindly write it to us through the email mlswap@gmail.com. Thank you very much for listening to part 3 of this series, and let's meet in part 4 of the series, in which we are going to start learning on how to write our Java programs. Thank you very much, and God bless.